So I'll start with the first question. What was your first year of college like? So I'd say that my first year of college went pretty well. I made a lot of new friends and kept a lot of old friends, and I got some pretty good grades. I can't really complain. I liked most of my classes that I took. There were a couple of the ones that you got to take, but that's to be expected, and I'd say even those weren't that bad. That's just me being picky. I lived on campus with a friend I knew from high school, and that was good. We didn't have any fights or anything like that. And next year, I'm living off campus with a new friend and an old friend, and we're continuing to hang out and stuff. I don't know, this is really awkward. I'm not used to doing this. Sorry, Galbraith. Let's see. I am a computer science major at Oregon State University. Probably should have started with that. I'm going to be a sophomore this year. I just completed my first year of college. What were actually the most important parts of your education at Sunset? I'd say time management and being able to have good priorities were definitely two of the most important skills that I learned at Sunset. For one, in college, you have to manage your time a lot more than in high school. They hold your hand a lot less, and by that I mean they don't hold it at all. So you really have to figure things out yourself, or you're going to flounder, and it's not going to work out well. But I was able to get things together, and it worked out pretty well for me. You just need to have priorities, set up things that you need to work on first, and then work on the things you can put off later. The other, let's see. Okay. How valuable were the IB classes beyond Sunset? Not very helpful. I took the IB Physics HL test, and I was able to get credit for that based on my scores. They weren't really that helpful. I was able to get like 30 credits, I think, of general physics credits on my diploma as transfer credit, and as a result, I had a slightly higher registration priority when registering for classes because it goes by how many total credits you have. So it helped a little bit there, and it helped I didn't have to take 3 1-credit classes throughout the terms, which wasn't that big of a deal. Because of my major, I had to take specific physics classes, particularly physics with calculus 1, 2, and 3. And since the IB credits only counted as general physics, those didn't count for those. Like, it counted for my gen ed stuff, but it didn't count for my major stuff, which those major stuff would have fulfilled the gen ed anyways, so it didn't really help that much. In my opinion, the way IB credits can help you the most is if it's in some sort of field that isn't all that related to your major. Because what I mean by that is the physics stuff fulfilled the gen ed stuff for me fine, which means that if I was in a major that didn't require specific physics classes, that would have been incredibly helpful, and I wouldn't have had to take physics in college. But because I did. So if, for instance, I had taken the IB bio stuff and gotten credit for that, since the only bio classes I had to take were in the gen ed tier, that would have fulfilled fine. It would have been A-okay. But unfortunately it wasn't, because it was actually something that pertained to my major, which is, it's a little backwards in my opinion, but whatever. What were your most valuable Sunset classes? I'd say any class that got me college credit. All of the PSU Challenge Course stuff, including C++, Java, Writing 121, and Calculus. Those were all incredibly helpful because I was able to start at Oregon State as like 4 credits shy of being a sophomore, which I was able to make up in the first year. So I'm a junior now, even though I completed my first year only. And just being able to get those courses done A, for cheaper, and B, earlier in your high school life, and you're not double dip, you're double dipping, which means you're getting credit towards your high school and college at the same time, which is very efficient, and it's much better than having to take the course twice or even taking it for the first time in college. Because I know people that took those classes but then didn't sign up for the credit, and now they're having to retake those classes, and they already know everything in the class, so it's just a big bore for them. They have to sit there and learn stuff they already know in order to get the credit that they already should have. But definitely my most valuable classes were those ones that gave me credit, and more specifically the computer science ones, but that's also because I'm a computer science major, so gaining those skills early was very helpful. But it's particularly helpful for me. What did you find most surprising about college? Definitely the amount of independence that you need, for one. Like I said earlier, about you have to manage your time and they don't hold your hand at all. I mean, I was expecting you have to account for yourself and whatnot, but it really is, like, they do have resources for you to help, like to get help, and they have counselors and stuff for you to talk to, but it's exactly that. It's resources that you have to go use and get help for. They're not going to look and go, oh, this guy's having some trouble registering for things or whatnot. Let's get him an appointment with this counselor and then tell him to go to it. You have to go, oh man, I need to go talk to this counselor because I don't know what I'm doing, and then go talk to them. So it's definitely a lot of self-responsibility that you need. What skills and abilities were most useful to you beyond Sunset? Like I said, time management, organization, having self-responsibility, and like knowing when you need to work on certain things. Like, I'm very bad at writing essays and the like, particularly because I don't like it, and so it's very difficult for me to muster up the energy to actually do it. But that's something that you need to learn to do, because if I just kind of put off all my essays and didn't really do them to the last minute and try to get them done as quickly as possible, then my grades would suffer a lot, especially because essays are kind of important in college and high school, as you probably know. Yeah. Hope that helps, Galbraith. Sorry about being late, and sorry about some of those edits you're probably going to have to make because I stuttered and whatnot.